Planet Dolan.
From unidentified flying objects to rock contests, we count 10 rare video game facts that blow your face off. Number 10. Couch potato. Borderlands 2 character Tiny Tina has a lazy eye, but this wasn't how it was intended and it started off as a bug, and so the developers thought that it fit her wacky character, so they just left it as is. Of course, even if they did fix the bug, it wouldn't have made her any less of the most annoying character since Jar Jar Binks. Number 9. Lazy masochist. Apparently, the developers of the original Ninja Gaiden designed the game to be relatively easy to finish, but the finished product was anything but easy. However, the devs decided that they liked the insane difficulty and they left it in. One important factor contributing to Ninja Gaiden's difficulty was the fact that whenever you die, you were sent back to the start of the level. This was the result of the developer lying when he said he programmed it in so that you respawn in the middle of the level. Number 8. Please wake up. At the end of Drawn to Life, the next chapter, it's revealed that the entire game took place inside Mike's head. This is because he fell from the tree and entered a coma. However, the original ending was far more gruesome, where Mike and Heather were in a car crash where both of the parents died and Heather was left with a comatose brother, trying with all her might to get through his unconscious state. Number 7. Taste Mercury. We all know how Nintendo thinks that the West is too bad at video games to appreciate any level of difficulty, but sometimes they change parts of the game thanks to cultural differences. Number 6. Spinning Clock. Clock Tower 1 was one of the first and certainly one of the most successful survivor horror games of its time, and interestingly, it was one of the few SNES titles to implement the mouse, but Clock Tower 1 never actually made it to the West. What we know of Clock Tower 1 over here is number 2, and number 2, the one that came out on the PlayStation, was actually a spin-off with barely any connections to the original. Number 5. Plus fries and a Coke. Street Fighter 2 had a weird bug where you could cancel the animation of an attack and initiate another one, allowing for combinations of attacks. Capcom figured out that they could take this bug and use it to create combo attacks such as the Hadouken! The funny thing is that Capcom thought it was too hard to do, so they left it in as a secret feature, completely unaware that this bug would be the foundation of pretty much every fighting game to come after. Number 4. Rock Contest. Mega Man bosses from 2 through 8 all had designs based on fan competitions. The winners were picked by Capcom and were changed into something more thematic to the game. The title of this item on the list is more appropriate than you might think. Most people know that Mega Man is known as Rockman in Japan, but if you're anything like me, you assume that it was a cultural thing. Turns out, not really. The name simply comes from the music style because for some reason, the character looked like a man made of rock music, even though he is clearly a boy and the music in the game could hardly be compared to the rock genre. Number 3. Comboy 64. Did you know that Hyundai released a game console? Although it looks rather similar to the N64, it's actually completely different. For instance, it had a turbocharged V4 engine to help run games better. But actually, it was just the N64. Turns out that South Korea holds a long grudge, and when the 64 hit the market, they still had a ban on all Japanese cultural imports from World War II. You can imagine their shock when they found out what Japan's culture was up to those years. Pixelated dick and weird technical shit. Number 2. The Condor Cluster. In 2010, the US Air Force got 1,760 PlayStation 3s and strapped them together into a supercomputer. With all of that power combined, they were able to enjoy Uncharted 1 at a stunning 120 frames per second, but apparently it was more cost efficient since they were mass produced and could run Linux. While the power of the core didn't really do much for the system's performance in the long run, it at least helped at looking at big pictures. And what in particular were they looking at? Well, according to the internet, it's to look at blurred flying objects in space, and that's not a joke. A reputable news site said this: they spent $2 million on game consoles in order to identify flying objects from space. Number 1. The New Legend of Rabbids. The Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds and New Super Mario Bros. U both have a purple bunny in them that likes to collect or sell items. Players had noticed this similarity and asked if Rabia and Nabbit were related, but Iwata explained in a Nintendo Direct that the similarity must have occurred unintentionally, since the Zelda and Mario teams work on the same floor. Interesting. Well guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Peace!
Oh, Danger Dolan, I love random facts about life told really quickly one after the other in a countdown. Guess what? We have a whole channel dedicated to that. Links down below.
Like animation? Have some questions about life and the universe you need answered? Come check out Super Planet Dolan. Danger Dolan and I will answer your life questions. Links are down below.